the negotiation period between WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder and mandatory challenger Alexander Povetkin is due to end in the next few days. And if the two parties have not reached an agreement by then, it will then go to purse bids. And looking at the form book, it is extremely unlikely that Deontay Wilder's team will be able to win a purse bid against Povetkin's team. Not even Vladimir Klitschko was able to win a purse bid against Povetkin's team. They have got some serious paper. And obviously, if it does go to a purse bid and Povetkin's team win, that means that Wilder would have to almost certainly travel to Russia to defend his title against Povetkin there, putting Povetkin in a position of advantage. Now, there had been talk about Wilder possibly paying Povetkin step-aside money so he could engage in a unification fight with his Al Haymon stablemate, Charles Martin. But that idea was just a rumor, and it went out the window completely anyway, because, as we know, Charles Martin is now facing Anthony Joshua for his first defense of his IBF heavyweight title. So it's looking increasingly like Wilder will have to go fight Povetkin in Russia. The only way out of it is to vacate his belt. Now, I always say on this channel, until I'm blue in the face, that no fighter is below praise. No fighter is above criticism. No exceptions. But people don't seem to understand this concept with me. Particularly, for example, the Amir Khan fans lately. They've seen me criticize Khan in a couple videos, and now they're coming to every video of mine like an angry mob on a witch hunt, trying to attack me in every way they can because they feel like I'm an Amir Khan hater. Well, no, I'm not an Amir Khan hater. I'm an objective analyst. When Amir Khan does something praiseworthy, I praise him. But next week, if he does something worthy of criticism, I criticize him. And I do the same for all fighters. Same with Kell Brook. I'm not no Kell Brook fanboy. You're going to find videos of me on my channel, both in the past and in the future, where I'm going to be criticizing Kell Brook. So you need to understand the concept of what this channel is about. If you like objectivity, and you like the concept that on my channel, no fighter is below praise, no fighter is above criticism, then this is a channel for you. But if you don't like objectivity, if you support a particular fighter and you never want to hear that fighter criticized, regardless of what he does, and you want everyone to just turn a blind eye to his indiscretions, then this is not the channel for you, because I'm not going to do that. Yeah? This is not a fanboy channel where I just fly the flag for certain fighters and never criticize them. I don't do that here. And I certainly won't be doing that with Deontay Wilder if he vacates his WBC heavyweight title and avoids a fight with Alexander Povetkin. You can 100% expect me to make a video saying that Deontay Wilder blatantly ducked Alexander Povetkin and criticizing him for doing so. Now, obviously, I understand that in the position that Wilder's in, he may have some misgivings about going over to fight in Russia. He may be concerned or paranoid about the drug testing situation. And we saw a recent example of some very irregular and concerning activity going on with regards to drug testing in Russia, because you had Marius Wack and Ola Duradola, who fought over in Russia, and they came up with false positive drug tests, and they were subsequently cleared of those positives because, as I say, the international, I believe it was VADA or WADA, which, you know, double checked the results of the Russian commission which conducted the drug tests. And they said the Russian commission wasn't forthcoming with the evidence that they wanted, despite the fact that they've been given plenty of time to produce said evidence. So you could definitely be very suspicious about what was going on there with the Russian dope testing on that particular show. So with all that in mind, you can understand Deontay Wilder being suspicious and being worried about going to Russia, just as, for example, Tyson Fury was worried about being in Germany after the fight. There's videos of Tyson Fury saying that he doesn't want to drink anything that's given to him because he's worried that they might try and, spike Tyson Fury's water or whatever with some type of performance-enhancing drug, some type of substance to make Tyson Fury get a positive test. Okay, this kind of dirty stuff does go on in boxing, unfortunately. Okay, so, okay, fair enough. Wilder might have reservations about that, but surely in negotiations, maybe he could do the same thing that Klitschko did. As absurd as that was, maybe he could do what Klitschko did when Klitschko fought Povetkin. And what Klitschko did is he had a separate drug testing company than Alexander Povetkin. Now, that does make a mockery of the whole drug testing situation, but in terms of, a safeguard, guarding himself, that would be a way for Wilder to at least know that he can't be spiked, that he can't have drugs, performance-enhancing drugs introduced into his system unbeknownst to him, or introduced into his samples unbeknownst to him. So if he is working with an organization that he trusts, then he can go into the Povetkin fight in Russia with some peace of mind. Okay, but as far as what he thinks Povetkin might be on, he obviously won't have peace of mind with regards to that. But I really think that in boxing, you're going to come across people that run stuff. You really are. And sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. Wilder is in a particular situation right now. I mean, you look at Povetkin against Vladimir Klitschko. Now, I've long time said that I've got serious suspicions about Vladimir Klitschko being on whatever. But I've also got serious suspicions about Alexander Povetkin, particularly in that Klitschko fight. And don't get it twisted, all you've heard from me, or mostly what you've heard from me over the years about that Povetkin-Klitschko fight, is me criticizing Vladimir's despicable tactics in that fight. And I obviously stand by that. But I was absolutely shocked that Povetkin, a guy who, previous to the Klitschko fight, had even been called by his former trainer Teddy Atlas a 5-round fighter. This is a guy who had a history of gassing late in fights, including against Marco Huck. But yet in the Klitschko fight, he endured 12 rounds of getting beat in the head and leaned on and pushed and thrown to the canvas. And yet he had loads of energy in the 12th round. That to me was absolutely incredible that he had that type of energy in the 12th round. And it did make me suspicious, I'm not going to lie, that he was so much stronger and had so much more stamina than I'd previously ever seen him with before. So, I've got my suspicions about Povetkin, but nonetheless, Vladimir Klitschko still went through with it. He still went over there to Russia, right? Lost the purse bid, went over there to Russia. Okay, he had the referee in his pocket and all that, who allowed him to get away with God knows what. And it's very unlikely that Wilder will be able to have or be able to enjoy that type of bias in his favor from the referee or any of the officials. But nonetheless, I think for Wilder's credibility as a champion and his market value as an athlete and as an entity, I think that he should bite the bullet. And regardless what Povetkin may or may not be on, again, I can't prove that Povetkin's on anything. This is all speculation here. But regardless what Povetkin may or may not be on, as long as Wilder can get his own testing safeguarded, then I think he should go over to Russia and definitely fight Povetkin if he loses that purse bid. And I'll be highly critical of Deontay Wilder if he don't do that. I mean, his credibility at this point in time is not very high among the general boxing population as it is. So if he was to vacate his title and duck Povetkin, I mean, wow. Would there be any way back for Deontay Wilder from that? I mean, he would have to do something spectacular to, to redeem his reputation if he was to do that. So those are my thoughts on the current situation between Wilder and Povetkin. I certainly hope he don't vacate. Many of you are expecting him to vacate rather than fight Povetkin. We'll see what happens. If he don't vacate, and if he does fight Povetkin in Russia, I think a lot of you guys need to give him some credit for that. Seems to be a lot of people who won't give Deontay Wilder credit for anything. If he goes over to Russia and he don't vacate and fights Povetkin in his backyard, I want to hear some credit and praise from you guys. Let's be objective here. Yeah? Now he might go over there and get knocked out, but the fact that he's willing to go and do it, you know, it's praiseworthy. Yeah, I mean, especially if you are individuals who've been saying that Wilder will never go over there. He'll never do it. He's scared. He's a coward. He'll never fight Povetkin. Well, if he ends up doing it and going over to Russia, well, you better, you know, reverse what you've been saying and actually give him some credit for it. Anyway, it's your boy Hatman. Let me know how you feel about everything I talked about in this video. I'm out.